Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Samantha. I create beauty, lifestyle, and fashion videos here on YouTube. Today I wanted to show you guys how I maintain these K-tips that I installed myself. If you haven't seen that video, I'm going to link it down below. But it's been about a week and a half. I just came from the gym, so my hair is a little bit frizzy, and I wanted to go ahead and do a maintenance. I wanted to show you guys how to clean, blow dry, straighten, and style your K-tips if you want to do them at home. So I'm going to show you all the products that I use and all the steps to just keep them maintained. First and foremost, I'm going to go ahead and detangle with this wide bristle brush. You just want to make sure that there's no knots and tangles in your hair. You don't want to brush towards the root and just focus on the shaft and the ends of the hair. Okay, now I'm gonna split my hair into 4 to 6 sections. I'm going to kind of separate my leave out and then the body of my hair just to make it more manageable. You also want to go ahead and use some clips to do that. So I'm gonna use these little clips here. Now that my sections are in, I have about 6 sections. I'm going to pre-poo with one of my favorite pre-poos. This is just going to prep your hair to be in the proper condition to go ahead and shampoo. I'm going to prep section by section and retwist. I'll leave this in my hair for about 15 minutes to absorb before I shampoo. I mainly focus this on my actual hair and not the extensions. While I have you here, let's talk about these K-tips real quick. I got these K-tips from CurlsQueen. They are the Light Yaki straight K-tips that I installed myself. Again, I've had these in for about a week and a half and I'm loving them. One thing I love about them is that they blend so nicely with my hair. They move so nicely. They're so easy to curl. I do have to find a way to maintain the curl longer, but other than that, I really am loving this extension. I just feel like it looks so natural and so effortless, and through this process I'm also realizing that they're so easy to maintain. This took a couple of hours, but it's not so different from just maintaining my natural hair if I wanted to do a silk press, and I'm absolutely in love. I can't wait to install them again. For shampoo, I'm using a mix of Dr. Groot Scalp Revitalizing Shampoo and the Olaplex No. 4 Bond Maintenance Shampoo. These two together have really been cleansing my hair as well as cleansing my scalp and keeping my hair pretty strong. And then recently I added the Saltaire Santal Bloom in Shower Hair Gloss. I really love this stuff. I really think that it gives me a nice sheen to my hair. It also has conditioning polymer, amino acids that strengthen the hair strands. And I feel like my hair has been really feeling like healthier while I'm using this. And then to decondition, I'm gonna use 2 of my favorites, Tijan Miracle Repair X CPR Protein Treatment, and I'm gonna also use the Acid Bonding Concentrate by Redken. These two, I really don't have much in here, but I really like this for a nice deep condition. And now we're gonna go ahead and wash our hair. So let's get into the wash. So first I'm gonna rinse out the pre-poo, and I'm gonna rinse it out throughout my head. But what you'll notice through this video is that as I'm going through my hair, I am going to retwist. One thing you don't want to do is just have your hair out the entire time. You don't want to cause tangling and you don't want to cause any like unnecessary tension on these extensions. So I'm going to go section by section using my first shampoo. I'm going to lather that up. I'm going to really try to focus on the scalp and on my hair and really just get that shampoo working on these strands. Again, I am using 2 shampoos to cleanse my hair. I'm going in with the Olaplex No. 4, and this Bond Maintenance shampoo has really been doing what it needs to do for my hair. I love using this stuff. It really cleanses and it really maintains the bonds of my hair. I really love it. As you can see, I am going in and I am going to massage the scalp. I'm making sure I'm getting off any oil, any dead scalp, anything that just does not need to be on my hair and on my scalp. I'm going in all over through my hair just to make sure everything is cleansed, but maintain your gentleness here. You do not want to kind of like rub too hard where those extensions are. You don't want to cause any matting, tangling, or anything like that. As you can see, I'm using kind of like a downward motion as I am washing my hair. I'm not flipping my head over. I'm just kind of running the product through my strands on a downward motion. And then I'm going to twist everything up and put it away to work on other sections. At the front of my hair, there aren't a lot of extensions. I only have a few pieces around the front sides of my hair, and so I can be a little bit rough with that. And once I rinse everything out, I'm gonna go ahead in with a conditioning shampoo. I love adding a hydrating or conditioning shampoo like this one after my cleanse. I find that it just balances out the texture of my hair and it just helps get that moisture back in my hair. And now the gloss. I absolutely love this stuff. I don't know the technology or the science behind it, but it really just makes a difference. I noticed that my hair is softer, it's just easily blown out, and I feel like it adds something to my silk press. So I'm going throughout my head with this gloss, and I'm gonna go ahead and leave it on for about a minute. As it says on the instructions, make sure you're brushing this through so that you have all of your hair covered in the gloss. And then I'm just gonna leave it again for just a minute. And then I'm gonna go ahead and rinse everything out and go ahead and deep condition. Now, I didn't realize that I literally had like 2 scoops of deep condition in this, but it really did work a miracle on this day. I was able to cover my entire head, comb everything out, and then go ahead in with my blowout. As you can see, I'm going ahead and detangling my hair, and I'm being very careful with this as well. Detangling throughout is so important, but you don't want to be rough. You just want to make sure that you're not getting any tangles or any knots in your hair. I'm going to rinse everything out, and look how cleansed and hydrated my hair looks. I love that you're not seeing like dead ends or any kind of breakage or any kind of like heat damage. It looks good. What I will say though is do not put your hair up in this clip like I did, and do not put your hair up in a towel because I had to fight to get that clip out of my hair, girl. So keep your hair down as much as possible, going in the direction that it grows in so that you're not causing any unnecessary damage or tangling. So one of my favorite products for when I silk press or blow out my hair is the color Wow Dream Coat. So I'm gonna go ahead section by section, spraying that in. After I spray it in, I'm just gonna go ahead and brush that through. I really love the color Wow Dream Coat. It has made my blow dries so easy, and I have no issues with this. I haven't had any experiences with heat damage or anything. So this is literally the only thing I'm using during my blowout. So I'm gonna go in and start with a wider tooth brush to start. This is just gonna get through any of the tangles and get through my hair. Then I'm gonna go in with a Meek, the number 53. This has more fine bristles, but there's still a good amount of space between the bristles, so I'm not kind of pulling and tugging. This is just going to give me the tension that I need to silk out my hair. And then I'm gonna also use a third brush. So I'm kind of going from wider to finer. So the pink brush has the widest of bristles. The 53 is more like a medium for me. And then the last one, which is a 23, I'll put it down in the description box, but that has more finer bristles, so you get a lot of tension, but I also don't want to break my hair. So now I'm gonna go ahead and focus more on the scalp and towards the root where those extensions are. The key here is that you do not want to overheat those K-tips because they can melt. So when I go towards the root, I am going to switch over to my wider brushes, and I'm going to also lower the heat. I think I'm using around a 180 here, whereas initially I was using the highest heat, which is a 210. You can also see that I'm kind of moving the blow dryer around. I don't want to keep the blow dryer in one spot, so I'm moving it down the shaft of my hair, but I'm also like shaking it a little bit just to kind of like disperse the heat a little bit more. I just don't like the idea of like sitting the blow dryer in one spot on my hair. I'm really trying to avoid any kind of heat damage, any kind of like damage at all. So as you can see, you are seeing some steam, but remember, you are blow drying wet hair, so you're gonna see some steam. You're putting heat on like water, so it's not smoke, guys. It is steam from blow drying my hair, getting it from wet to dry. I thought this process was going to be a lot harder, honestly, with, you know, just the extensions, you know, in my hair. I was nervous that they were going to melt or I was going to have like extensions coming out, and I literally had no issues. I did feel that like some strands were coming out of some of the K-tips, but that wasn't really like much of a concern for me. Everything still feels good. All the parts are still there. The sections are still there. So I feel like it'll be fine when I go ahead and remove these. But this is the blowout so far, and you can still see the body. My hair is dry and my roots are dry, and that is literally about it. I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of this. Then we're gonna go ahead and silk press. I feel like we're gonna have to do a part 2 for the silk press process, just because I don't like my videos to be too long, and we're already at 12 minutes, girls. So I think at this point, this is going to be towards the end of this video, and you're going to have to come back for part 2 of the silk press and curl process. But I just want you guys to know that this is so easy, and it is really that easy to maintain these extensions. All you have to do is make sure that you're not like pulling these out, girl. It's actually really easy. With that said, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I appreciate your support. Thank you for commenting, liking, and subscribing to this channel, and I'll see you guys in the silk press and curl process.